How's it going, everybody? I hope you are all doing well. Um, oh, yeah, that's right. This is the Ben Burnside YouTube show coming at you, episode 2. Uh, here to talk some talk some late Comic Con news. I know I'm late to the party, but better late than never. It is Thursday, July 25th, 2019. Um, I haven't really, I've heard a lot about Comic Con, so I am really looking forward to discussing it and really talking about it and, seeing my thoughts about the product, or at least for you to check out my thoughts of how I feel about all the countless news stories of pop culture that came out during this past weekend. And I've been spectating the whole thing online on Facebook. And today I am going to discuss all the news bits that I heard um, very shortly. First, I want to make some plugs about me. My name is Ben Burnside. Thank you for being on the show with me today. Um, I want to give a plug for my own blog, which you can check out, which is the Ben Burnside blog. I'm sure if you just type Ben Burnside, type this, once you type that on Google, the Ben Burnside blog, go for the second one. The first one is a blog that I never really got to, really started pretty much. The second one is the blog that I'm doing right now. It's labeled "Talk About Whatever I Want." That's kind of the catchphrase. It's the best I could come up with right now. I'm sorry, but that's what I came up with. I think I'm enjoying myself on there. I got to do more content on there. But go ahead and check out my latest article. I talk about uh, basically anything that interests me except for politics. All of these shows that I do, um, I don't talk about politics. So that's one thing I don't talk about, nor religion. But I don't care about religion. So, oof, my damn big leg getting the table. But anyway, go ahead and check out my blog. That's again called the benburnsideblog.com. Also, you can check out some podcasts that I did on Podbean. It's called the Ben Burnside Show. Uh, those those shows are on hiatus right now because I'm decided to do my talk show on YouTube for the foreseeable future. I've always wanted to do YouTube in the first place, but gave a lot of thought into the episodes I did. I did 5 episodes there. Go ahead and check out the Ben Burnside Show if you're interested. I talk about pro wrestling, anything in pop culture. I talk about some TV shows like The Sopranos, and gee, my legs. The Sopranos. My review of Toy Story 4. A lot of pop culture stuff on there. What can I say? Those are my interests. So go ahead and check those out when you have the chance. Anyway, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to discuss um, what I saw in the news from this past weekend in San Diego Comic Con. Kind of unfortunate that I live in California. I live in the Central Valley, but I've never gone to Comic Con. I never even thought of going. It's so expensive, and I don't know. I've just never gone. I need to go. San Diego's not far from me. It's like what, 6 hours, 8 hours? That ain't far. I got to do it. So, but it's really cool whenever I hear the news that comes out of there, nonetheless. Plus, it's crowded anyway. I keep seeing images of the buildings where Comic Con takes place, and there's fucking no room. There's no room to move. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, but that can't be good. So let's check out some of the news bits as I move back on my source timeline wise to check out the bits that took off in Comic Con, or the stories that took off while Comic Con was taking place. Um, so yeah, I the source that I look at, I recommend to anybody. I'm looking at their Facebook page right now for all the news stories. It's called comicbookmovie.com. Super reliable source of pop culture. It's a news site that doesn't just talk about comic books specifically, or not just comic book movies specifically, but they talk about movies in general, and they really get into the nitty gritty of things that are going around on in pop culture, movie wise, and in terms of TV shows and specific TV shows, not every TV show, but TV shows that are genre based or comic book based or, in that sort of realm. So I would recommend totally looking up comic book. In fact, I'm going to give you a basic gist of what they talk about right here by mentioning the stories on here. And I just recommend them. Period. I think they're a great site. So Comic Con, it started, I want to say on July 18th, so basically a week ago now. It's the 25th now. So on a Thursday, here is the first piece of news I got based off their page. The first piece of news was the new trailer for Brad Pitt's new space movie called Ad Astra. It's an interesting movie. It's basically a movie where Brad Pitt, I'm sure, is it's basically a mission where he is searching for his father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, who's lost in space. I don't know what that means, but it sounds very interesting. And it sounds like Tommy Lee Jones has a sort of secret for the key to world survival or something like that. I don't know. I saw the trailer and I'm very intrigued. I all what you need to do is tell me who the actors are in Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones, and I'm interested automatically. I don't care who the director is. If those two signed on, especially Tommy Lee Jones, if those two signed on for this movie, I mean, you can't really go wrong, right? Because they know I'm sure those are a couple picky actors at this point in their career, and they decide what to get. As I adjust my mic, they have a certain selection of what to play as they get further and further into their careers, and they're not like they're gonna pick a blockbuster movie to play in, you know. Next up was a lot of Terminator Dark Fate footage that was shown in Comic-Con. I didn't really look into it, to be honest. Terminator Dark Fate, I wasn't a big fan of the last Terminator movie. I'm a big fan of the franchise, the Terminator franchise, and the overall story. In fact, I've been on a YouTube binge, I should say, ever since I don't know, a couple months ago. So I'm a big fan of the Terminator franchise. I want to see it be successful again. The trailer was, I thought, for Dark Fate was pretty good, but I wasn't overall sold with the story. I don't like the looks of the new Terminator. I find them to be kind of generic, to be honest. But then again, maybe I'm not giving them a chance, you know. So I'm willing to look into it. But this definitely wasn't the biggest news story to me in Comic-Con. It was a lot of stuff for the people in San Diego, which is cool. You know, if you sign up to go to Comic-Con, I would expect exclusive stuff, and this was one of those things. Terminator Dark Fate, new footage, featurette. Well, actually, no, the featurette, I saw some of it at least, and that's online, and it shows an awesome shot of Arnold Schwarzenegger having a machine gun and just shooting the new Terminator in the face like 100 times with that machine gun. It was glorious. It's a thing that Arnold Schwarzenegger does, I'm sure, every day of his life. Let's see. What's next? Let's see. We got some news of some Hasbro toys. That's another big thing the comic book movie covers is action figures. Not gonna get too much into this. Looks like they built some action figures based off the heroes from Avengers Endgame. Looks like they included Fat Thor in Avengers Endgame. I'm sorry, I kind of spoiled something there, but everyone's seen Avengers Endgame at this point, so I'll make a rare exception, spoiler-wise, for that movie. And more toys shown at Comic Con, but this is based off the brand Hot Toys. Those guys, they might make the best toys on the planet. So, from what I've seen, they are a hot contender at least. So, I don't know. I'm looking at some of these toys right now. Just I'm not even going into their link, but I see their cover of Hulk and Thanos and Captain America, Iron Patriot. Iron Patriot looks good, but yeah, I don't have any money, so let's see. A new trailer for iZombie. I forgot about this. iZombie, um, a show I think that's on the CW. They're already on season 5, which is insane. Um, I think I've never seen iZombie. I've been intrigued to see it, but I never gave it a chance. So looks like the show is happening as we speak. So it's actually this is a promo for the next episode. So never looked into that really. This next one. This next one is a big news story to me. The headline says Power Rangers Beast Morphers, which is the new Power Rangers TV show. Power Rangers Beast Morphers Season 2 trailer confirms the return of the original Red Ranger. And yes, I saw that. I saw the original Red Ranger. I saw the clip of him in the trailer. Not a good trailer overall, or at least it's not a trailer for me, I should say. I thought it was kind of lame, and even if I was a kid, I probably wouldn't like it. But yeah, Jason, the guy who played Jason, his name is Austin St. John. Austin St. John was in the trailer as Jason at the very end as the Red Ranger in the trailer, and it was glorious for Power Rangers. None of the current fans of Power Rangers probably know who he is. It's Jason from season 1 of Power Rangers, which was like 25 years ago. But I think it's important. It's awesome for us to see. It's good for ratings for them. It's the Power Rangers, man. It's like a growing family over time. None of the family wants to be at the reunions. I think a lot of fans, old fans at least, find the new Power Rangers pretty lame. That's how at least I see it. But I think Austin St. John being on there, people would watch that episode. I'd watch it. I'd consider watching it. But then again, I saw the reunion for all the Power Rangers teaming up with the new Power Rangers squad and like an epic reunion special of the ages in Power Rangers a couple of years ago. It was fucking terrible. It was awful. Like it was not good, man. It really was bad. So I don't know what to say to that. I think it was yeah, it wasn't good. Next up, this is a news story. Batwoman star Ruby Rose unable to attend San Diego Comic-Con due to filming conflict with an ambitious episode. Who cares? I saw the trailer for Batwoman, and it's an ambitious show in a way with who the character is and all that. But I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I thought it. I was not into it at all. I really thought it was kind of dumb. So I hope I'm proven wrong. I'll try to see Batwoman one day. I mean, she's part of the Batman family. I'll give her a shot, but I'm not running to my TV to go record it and watch it. This was another big story. Star Wars: Rise of the Skywalker news. New details on the Sith Troopers revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to read this one. I'm interested in what this one has to say. I'm trying to look at the camera on my computer, but it's weird. It's weird. Like I'm trying to pretend that I'm looking at you. I learned that from other YouTubers while watching them, but I don't know. I'm not really. It's not really my thing, you know. So like at least for right now. But maybe I need to get used to it. Let's read this article. Lucasfilm recently gave fans an early glimpse of the latest form of Imperial fighter to menace the galaxy far, far away via some official Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker merch. And now that San Diego Comic Con is underway, some more details on the Sith Troopers have come to light. There was a speculation that these formidable looking fellows will be utilized as guards for the returning Emperor Palpatine. But the description accompanying the Comic Con 4 display confirms that they will actually serve the First Order. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm cool. I actually like that better. I like that better. There's also a strong hint that these new troopers will indeed draw power from the dark side of the Force, which obviously makes them a far greater threat to Rey and the Resistance than any previous Imperial soldier. That part is interesting to me. In its ultimate push towards galactic conquest, the First Order readies an army of elite soldiers that draw inspiration and power from a dark and ancient legacy. Check out the recently released merchandise images below and let us know what you think of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Sith Troopers, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They look pretty badass, man. It's basically the new design of the Stormtroopers for this generation of Star Wars, but they're in red. It's badass. Badass for any generation. I don't know how it's. I'm guessing just right off the top of my head that this is. They're able to use their force powers because either Kylo Ren has trained them or because Snoke trained them, and so it will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they perform in the battlefield in Episode 9. Why weren't they in the last couple episodes? That's another question. Like they were obviously, it obviously takes time to learn those powers, so I'd imagine they'd be around at least for the first few movies. So that's weird. It's weird that they just show up out of nowhere, but whatever. I guess it's Star Wars, so. But it is weird. It is weird that did they just get back from catering? Like what's going on? That's my take. Again, the source is from comicbookmovie.com. Go check out their article. The images of the Sith Troopers are on there, and they look pretty good. Um, and the person who wrote this column, credit goes to Mark Cassidy. So good job, Mark. Um, let's go to the next piece of news. Breaking news, well, at least on July the 19th. Halloween sequels are officially announced. Halloween sequels were announced at Comic-Con. That is true. The first sequel, which is called Halloween Kills, it takes place in 2020. And Halloween Ends is, I guess, the final sequel to this new trilogy. It will take place on 2021. I'm assuming both will take place around Halloween. I've never been a huge Halloween fan. I saw a little bit of like the third one. I'm not a horror guy. I gotta look more into horror, I guess. I'm a little bit of a wuss, I guess. So it's good news though. I'm glad the new Halloween movie made some money. It got a lot of critic appraisal. So it's pretty cool that they made some announcements for some new sequels. Horror is making a return, man. It really is. With this new Blumhouse studio making money from low budgets and making horror movie after horror movie from that, I mean, slowly but surely, the horror movie genre seems to be going up the mountain at this point. It's gone through its highs and lows over time, but they really seem to be horror movies really seem to be getting to be a bigger and bigger trend over time in Hollywood. So that's cool to see. This next one I'm pretty interested about because it involves E3. Everything we learned about Marvel's Avengers and Ultimate Alliance 3 from the Marvel Games San Diego Comic-Con panel. So let's take a read at that one. These two games I've been looking forward to for a while. These games I also heard about a couple months ago during E3. I'll talk about what I heard about for Ultimate Alliance 3 after this read. Also, this is also on comicbook.com. Credit goes to a guy named Josh Wilding. Looks like good job, Josh. Comic-Con kicked off in style last night with the Marvel's Games panel in Hall H, which saw that division of Marvel Entertainment put the spotlight on a number of upcoming video game releases, including Marvel's Avengers, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, and Iron Man VR, among others. As well as new details on playable characters, we also have intel on gameplay, collector's editions, costume redesigns. Whoa, sorry. You know, we had earthquakes in California a couple weeks ago, and I'm basically bringing fake news that they returned with all these, with me kicking the table so many times. But yeah, as well as new details on playable characters. We also have intel on gameplay, collector's editions, costume redesigns, and when we can expect to see more footage from them all. There are a lot of great reveals here, and you definitely need to check them out. To do so, and to check out a detailed recap of Marvel's Avengers gameplay footage shown to those in Hall H, simply click the View List button, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Marvel's Avengers, Miss Marvel. First 20 minutes or so of the game was shown to those in attendance, and not much that has changed since those clips were shown at E3. However, it was revealed in Hall H that prologue. You know, I don't know if I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna give some advance warning, as advanced as I can at this point, about whether or not you want to see the trailer or you want to hear the details for the upcoming game. If you guys don't want to hear the details for the upcoming game, skip ahead. I'll bring some information of I'll give you some information of when to skip it. So, or I'll label the time on the description. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'm going to go forward with the details of the games now. However, it was revealed in Hall H that the prologue features narration from a young Middle Eastern girl looking for her Ami and Abu. She falls down and ends up inhaling some blue gas, which is, of course, almost certainly the Terrigen Mist. This sounds a lot like Kamala Khan's story, or Kamala Khan's origin story, and it seems as if Miss Marvel could end up playing a key role in this game, possibly even as an unexpected playable character. Another interesting item. It is confirmed here. Yes, Captain America is dead in the new Avengers video game, as was strongly suggested in the E3 trailer. Fans couldn't quite believe it when the first trailer revealed that Captain America dies in the game's prologue and assumed that it must be misdirection in some way. While that it is still possible, the footage shown last night confirms that he is believed dead after that helicarrier explodes, and this loss is what's led to Earth's mightiest heroes disassembling after the 5-year time jump. One of the biggest draws when it came to this game was getting to play as Captain America, so here's hoping he somehow returns, as it could end up being a pretty underwhelming adventure if not. Comic book fans didn't respond well to the redesigned Captain America costume in the game's first trailer, and now it makes sense why the developers said that they wouldn't make any changes to that moving forward. The special edition of Marvel's Avengers will come bundled with Cap in his fugly costume, and well, it's hard to imagine many people out there rushing to pick this up next year. Um, the footage will be released online soon, according to this article. So I guess the footage in Comic Con will be released online relatively quickly. I haven't seen it yet, and it's been 7 days since this post, roughly 7 days. There's been some announcement of alternate costumes. What are they? They include Iron Man's original Sin armor, Black Widow's classic comic book costume, a Viking Thor, Planet Hulk or Mr. Fix-It Hulk, War Machine, and some original signs. That said, to be just the tip of the iceberg and should make a lot of gamers out there very happy. Makes me happy. I want to see more costume design, so that's nice. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. More playable characters were announced. Ultimate Alliance 3 is right around the corner, and it was confirmed during the panel that Loki is going to be a playable character. Elsa Bloodstone's name was also mentioned in passing, while the game reportedly has around 30 playable heroes and villains upon a release. It was also said that some upcoming free DLC will add Cyclops and Colossus to proceedings, which should be good fun. With any luck, we'll have a full list of characters in the game at some point in the next few weeks. So I'm just going to say it right now. I saw a review of Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. I heard it was good overall, but there were some weaknesses in it. So it was good. It was good. That was the case for just about all the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. So it's not, they're kind of in the same club. Ultimate Alliance 2 having the most potential, but being the worst because it just didn't last long enough. And interesting stuff. Very interesting. Yeah, I still want to play the game, but I don't have Nintendo Switch. So, kind of sucks that they just had the game in one platform for video games. So, come on, man, get on Xbox. What the hell? Some future DLC packs for the game include even more mutants, a Fantastic Four pack with those characters, and Marvel Knights, which will feature the likes of Moon Knight, Punisher, Morbius, and Blade. Also very cool. Very cool. Iron Man VR, this is the one I definitely know the least about of the 3 video games mentioned. VR games haven't been quite the hit some initially expected, but Iron Man VR looks like it should be a lot of fun. Apparently, Camouflage Games struggled to convince Marvel to let them move forward with the project, and much of that had to do with ensuring it feels like Iron Man. Iron Man VR is actually playable at Comic-Con, and according to those who have tried it out, the demo consists of players stepping into Tony Stark's repulsor boots and battling some drones. It's pretty dope. I'm interested. I like VR games, but I'm always afraid I'll crash into something. My apologies. There we go. Long day, I guess. Apparently, Tony Stark's 1970s set adventures like Demon in a Bottle inspired the game, hence why the hero is decked out in a modernized version of that armor, designed by Adi Granov. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Any other news with this stuff? No, not really. not really. Okay. Well, that's a lot of interesting information with these new games. A lot of footage was shown exclusive to the people in Comic Con. That's cool. That's what Comic Con's all about. Um, Man, these games look interesting. They all look interesting. If they were in front of me, I would grab them and play them. You know, it's funny. There's a library not far from me that offers free Xbox games if I just rent them. I believe they're free. I think all that I got to do is rent them as a member, which I don't think costs anything to be a member of the local library. So it's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Hopefully that's available in every library across America. Seems like a simple thing to do. But yeah, I will very much play these games if I can. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's get back to. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Okay, here's the next piece of news from Comic Con. Uh, Netflix released the first trailer of The Witcher TV series, starring Henry Cavill. This trailer looked pretty good. I gotta say, the trailer looked pretty good. It wasn't. It was but I do have to say though, in saying that, this might be my least favorite trailer coming out of Comic Con, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. Um, I don't really know what the story's about, to be honest. I'm not a Witcher fan. I have the Witcher Wild Hunt in my queue of video games I could play here at home. I don't think I've even unwrapped the game yet. So, I don't know why I bought the damn thing, but it's there. So I gotta play it. I gotta play it, because I heard it was an awesome game. Anyway, the trailer, I want to give The Witcher a shot. I love Henry Cavill. I think he's awesome. I love Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was great. Um, I don't want I want him to still be Superman, but that's not going to happen. Um, you know, I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Netflix. I don't know if Netflix will do something like this justice. And but then again, how would I know? I've never seen it, right? I've never seen the video game. Never played it. I think they got great talent with Henry Cavill. The story looks interesting, but not enticing. But I'll definitely give it a shot, considering who who's playing it. So that's basically my take. I don't even know what the story's about. Apparently, it involves a woman apparently has a very dark power, and Henry has to do something to protect her. So I don't know. It's one of those stories. Netflix has been very hit and miss with their movies. I saw the one Triple Nine or whatever with Ben Affleck and Charlie Hunnam. Very forgettable movie. The premise was meh. Um, I didn't think it sucked, but it wasn't anything to remember. That's for sure. So kick my table again. But yeah, that's kind of Netflix's MO with movies, unfortunately. But hopefully that won't be the case because I want Henry Cavill to have a good career. And why did Warner Brothers get rid of him? I thought that was so dumb. They had a perfect casting for Superman, and they got rid of him. Just I don't know. I don't like that. Um, let's see. Russo brothers talk Secret Wars, Avengers Endgame, and reveal upcoming movie slate and new trailers. I'm interested. I heard the Russos were at Comic Con. Oh, they were at Hall H. Okay. Let's read this quick article. If the article lets me, there we go. Josh Wilding wrote this again. Clearly, Josh Wilding was at Comic Con. Good for you, Josh. Um, the Russos, who obviously just directed Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, they're basically the main directors of the MCU as we speak. Maybe until now, because it seems like they're moving on. The Russo brothers were at Hall H, and they had a lot to discuss about. Of course, they beat gods over in San Diego for that weekend, so of course they'll get Hall H, and deservingly so. All their MCU movies are really good. I really didn't have a problem with any of them. The only ones I might have had a problem with a couple things, is the Endgame and Infinity War movies. But that's not their fault. There was so much shit that they had to put in that it's almost not fair. They had to put so much stuff in that it's not entirely their fault. I mean, at a certain point, there's too much is too much, you know. So I don't think there's much a creative director can do to fix that. So let's read the article here. Last night, the Russo brothers held a special panel at the San Diego Comic-Con last night, and the filmmakers touched on a number of subjects, including their work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what comes next for them away from the world of superheroes. Revealing their upcoming film slate, including a logo for Magic the Gathering. That's news. I didn't know that. That's pretty nice. Good for them. That's nice. The directors also shared some trailers, one of which includes a brand new behind-the-scenes footage and deleted scenes from Avengers Endgame, the new highest-grossing movie in cinematic history as of this past weekend at Comic-Con. There's a lot here that's very noteworthy, and the filmmakers were even quizzed by the likes of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, who had some very interesting and insightful questions about the MCU. Their work for Marvel Studios made these two superstars, and it's fair to say they delivered the goods in the Comic-Con panel. So for a breakdown of everything that happened, yes, hit the view list button down below. View list. What would bring the Russos back to Marvel Studios? There's a simple answer to that question. Secret Wars. We've mentioned how much we love Secret Wars. Wow, Joe said. I've never read Secret Wars, so this would be interesting. Joe said when the moderator asked if they would come back, who's the moderator? Give him cred. When the moderator asked if they would come back to Marvel Studios to take the helm of a big screen adaptation of their favorite comic book tale, we would love to work with Marvel again, and maybe Secret Wars makes sense, Anthony added, making it clear that they haven't closed the door on working in the MCU again. Okay? Next question. How it feels to see Endgame so close to Avatar's record? Interesting question for the Russos. We're still waiting on updated box office numbers and things will become... It already happened. Let's see. But this is their basic opinion of it. It's a cathartic experience for all of us, Anthony said. James Cameron has always been an idol of ours, so to be so close to one of his films is really special. And once let's finish this. Analysts are confident that the Marvel Studios will now defeat the 2009 release. So you have to imagine they're feeling very happy. Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure Disney is. Well, Disney doesn't care. Well, they care if money's made. But anyway, James Cameron actually on Twitter, he made a picture of Iron Man being worshipped by those little bright creatures in the Avatar movie all around him, um, kind of like jellyfish all around him. And he said, "Congratulations, Russo brothers, on your success." And the Russo brothers gave back to him. It's like, and they did a lot of pictures of them watching Titanic and Avatar, and they were like, "It was you, James, um, that gave us, that sparked our imaginations with your films and stuff like that." It was really nice. This was all on Twitter, and it was just really classy stuff. In my mind, my personal mind, I gave James Cameron a lot of smack talk, a lot of fun smack talk, but some smack talk because James Cameron has said a lot of cocky things in recent interviews about how he has the top grossing films and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what, James, you're about to have to sit down. You're gonna have to sit down for this for these remarks. That's kind of what happened, but not really. I mean, and I don't mind it. There's a lot of praising going on, a lot of appreciation, a lot of cool stuff happening on Twitter between the two parties, and I think it's awesome. Very classy of both of them. Um, Next section on this article: disagreements and challenges. The filmmakers and brothers were asked what their last fight was about, and Joe responded to that by joking, was it about the length of Captain Marvel's hair? They went on to explain that the hardest visual effects shots in both Avengers Infinity War and Endgame were the moments everyone was dusted, and the portals the resurrected heroes later returned through. After noting that one day on set they would like to relive was Robert Downey Jr.'s final day when he filmed his death scene, Anthony noted the first day of shooting on Infinity War was interesting. It was an interesting day because the challenge was combining all these franchises, and combining Tony and Peter and the Guardians was an interesting cocktail. He didn't really answer the question, I feel like, but I think that goes to show how well they get along as directors. They don't let personal feelings get in the way, and for two brothers to not have personal feelings get in the way, it's pretty impressive. So that's very cool that Marvel has these two, at least for now, because they've done a lot in the MCU. Questions from some familiar faces. Okay, this must be the actors asking the questions. Mark Ruffalo appeared on screen and asked the Russos if the Hulk is now the smartest and strongest Avenger. Banner tried to solve time travel, but he didn't, Joe pointed out before Anthony weighed in with, "My daughter Grace would say Shuri is the smartest Avenger." I don't like that opinion, but whatever. Chris Evans was up next, and he wanted to know what Steve Rogers did next after getting his dance with Peggy. He also quizzed the directors on which of their movies was the most stressful to direct. "It's a good question," Joe said. "Perhaps he and Peggy tried to make a baby. Perhaps the baby exists in the Marvel Universe. Steve Rogers Jr. I'm just saying. And the genes of Steve Rogers, including the effects, the serum effects that he got when he was a young man, maybe they went into his new child. So, just saying. Captain America can very well be around still in the MCU. That's all what I'm saying. That's all what I'm saying. Anthony gave an even more interesting suggestion when he pointed out that if you think about it in terms of alternate reality, Steve could do a lot of things. He could save Bucky from Hydra. He could visit himself in the ice. As for the most stressful film, they agreed that it was Infinity War, while the most relaxed was their first, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. That makes sense. The first one should be the least stressful. It's usually how it works. Then it was Chris Hemsworth's turn. He pushed them to answer who would be a better leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor or Star-Lord, while heavily indicating that it would be the God of Thunder. The director declined to humor the actor, and Joe pointed out that was more of a statement. Paul Rudd then joined in and asked which Chris in the MCU has the best America's ass. Joe was quick to say that we're not even going to touch this one before polling the crowd. Evans won, according to the crowd. Okay, that's funny. Finally, Robert Downey Jr. showed up on screen and had a very insightful question. What was the biggest difference between Tony Stark saying, "I am Iron Man," in Iron Man and Avengers Endgame? Okay, and this is their answer. God, man. The arc Tony Stark went through, beginning as the egocentric person to sacrificing himself that way, Anthony explained. See, he had become a father. Your job in the universe is to serve others, and that's the biggest change. He was in a different place there in the end. I agree. That's totally what I would say too, actually. Their future projects, finally, there we go. Sherry starring Tom Helen is next up from the filmmakers, and it's going to be R-rated. It's set in Cleveland, Ohio, where we grew up. Joe said this is a story about the opioid crisis told in a very fascinating way. Damn, this is a long conference. This is super newsworthy. The filmmakers added that they're huge fans of Holland, and he's someone they're hoping to work with on all our projects moving forward. Yeah, here's the official logo. Nice looking logo. Not a logo I expected for this, but interesting. 21 Bridges stars Chadwick Boseman, and the new trailer was released online. Damn, that was the one new trailer from Comic-Con I haven't seen yet. I gotta check that out. That looks interesting. And the new trailer was released online shortly after the panel ended. A quote from Joe, I guess. Anthony and I grew up loving genre movies that had something to say beyond the genre, and 21 Bridges has Chadwick Boseman hunting down the cop killers. It's one we're very proud of. Interesting. I gotta see that. Gotta see the trailer. As you can see below, the filmmakers went on to reveal the official logo for Magic the Gathering and confirmed that they're adapting both Grimjack and Battle of the Planets while they're producing the former. They admitted that there's a chance they will direct the latter, which would obviously make their next major blockbuster following their work in the MCU. Michael B. Jordan starting in the Thomas Crown Affair. Russo's are producing Grimjack. God damn. Russo's adapting a new Battle of the Planets. Good fucking lord! Why isn't this talked about on my news on the news shows that I watch? This is an insane amount of news with the Russos. Russos unveil Magic the Gathering logo. Holy shit, that's a lot of stuff going on with the Russos. Okay, finally. God damn, this is a long article. One final Marvel Studios question. There was still more for Marvel Studios fans to enjoy, though, as the Russos were asked about the lengths actors like Evans and Hemsworth go in order to prepare for their roles. Evans used to go home every night with bumps and bruises. Wow, Joe said. Similarly with Hemsworth, to play the large and heavy Thor, he had to wear a heavy bodysuit. Hemsworth ended up hurting his back quite badly, and we had to postpone a lot of his shooting. Wow, I didn't know Hemsworth was that committed. But then again, look at his body. I mean, you don't just, that takes a serious amount of discipline right there. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff coming out of Marvel. Or from the Russos. That's all that I gotta say about that. That's a lot of stuff. I didn't know the Russos revealed that many news stories about it. The biggest one is probably Magic the Gathering, but I'm interested in all of them. I want to see the 21 Bridges trailer. I mean, that's a lot of good stuff right there. The Russos are already a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood, but they could become like the very top echelon very quickly with Hollywood directors. You can argue that they already are. But anyway, more Terminator Dark Fate stuff. 8 major new reveals from Comic-Con, including Arnie's new name, in the movie's rating. Okay, I'm not even going to read this one, but I'll read the subheadings of it. By the way, good job to Wilding again for that last article to Russo's. That was awesome to read that. Let's look at Arnold Schwarzenegger's new Terminator's new name. Waiting for it here. Okay, let's read the new features here. This new Terminator won't feature Avengers Endgame style time travel. Okay, so no time travel adjusting in this movie, it sounds like. Movie is officially rated R. Cool. I like that. I like that quite a bit. I'll read this one. Why James Cameron returned to the franchise. James Cameron foolishly endorsed Terminator Genesis, this is according to the writer on comicbook.com, but he's also taken an active role in the development of the sequel reboot/reboot. However, when he was asked to return, he had one condition. Arnie had to come with him. Yes. If I was to do it, I wanted Arnold in. What do we do with the T-800? How do we create a new character for him? Something no one has ever seen before. Interesting. And with James Cameron being in charge or being a producer, he will have a lot of say, even though he's not the director, of something he wants in this movie, in a franchise that he is a big influencer of. I think we came up with something pretty good, he teased. The filmmaker went on to praise director Tim Miller and said, "We're coming up with crazy new stuff you've never seen before." It was Cameron who convinced Linda Hamilton to reprise the role of Sarah Connor, and her love of the character is what led her to saying yes. So it sounds like they have the right intentions. I read that Linda Hamilton actually had some clashings with the creative people for the Linda Hamilton character in Terminator, in going with what she says and what Sarah Connor would do in certain situations of the film. She disagreed. She got what she wanted. She had a couple things changed. Maybe not major things, but just a few minor things of the character. I like that. You got to give the actress some creative freedom with the character she's working on, especially with one that's been worked on for a number of years. I think that specifically is within an actress's right of the character he or she is working with. Oh, damn it. They're having me read another one. Why Arnold Schwarzenegger is back again? Well, because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do I need to read that? Of course I need to come back. I'm addicted to Terminator. Terminator is the movie that really launched my action movie career. Why? Everyone wants him to come back. Of course. It would feel weird if he didn't come back. I feel very indebted to James Cameron for having created that character, he said, before promising fans that this movie is going to be something special and a sequel they can get behind. I think that you'll be really surprised at this movie because it's unbelievable, and I was blown away when I saw it 3 weeks ago for the first time. Well, of course he's going to say that. Tim Miller is well aware of franchise fatigue. Okay, well that's hopeful at least. So hopefully we'll hear something different. The T-800's new name is Carl. Rumors have been swirling, so Arnold Schwarzenegger's name in the movie is Carl. Rumors have been swirling that Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing the human who the T-800 was based on, but we now know that's not the case. In the trailer that was shown to fans, it was revealed that he's playing a T-800 who has decided to live out his life as a human in a community where he's well liked. To the locals and his friends, he's known as Carl, and Sarah Connor warns him that once their mission is done and he's outlived his influence, she's going to put the T-800 down once and for all. Why? He's not doing anything to nobody. Come on. Send him to the army, or he'll obviously be effective. So, I don't know. Have him be useful somewhere else. What? The biggest news to come out of the panel is the announcement that Eddie Furlong is set to reprise his role as John. Why isn't this talked about? As John Connor. Catching up with that character promises to be a lot of fun, especially now we're returning to the original timeline to see what happened after the events of the Terminator. What the fuck? What are you doing? You've done a good job of keeping this secret, so time. Well, apparently not. They just told it. So time will tell just how this big his role ends up being. Well, they revealed the secret, so to be fair. There's the description of the new trailer, which I don't want to read. That's crazy. Eddie Furlong is back as John Connor. I didn't know that. What? I think that's cool. I want to see that. Now I'm kind of interested in seeing Terminator. That's very cool. But then again, maybe I didn't want to know that. I don't know. And this is another big thing to come out of Comic-Con. The DC Universe TV franchise, the TV universe. They had some big news concerning one of the actors on there, the former Superman himself, Brandon Routh. It turns out he is going to reprise himself as the new Superman. Brandon he is going to be the new Superman, and it sounds like he's going to be playing a version of Superman where he from the famous comic book Kingdom Come, featuring the older DC heroes against new bratty DC heroes, and they go to war with Superman leading the charge with the old superheroes. I am very, very interested in that. I haven't watched the DC Universe stuff for quite a while now. I used to be a huge fan, but they just kept adding and adding and adding more shows that I just got frustrated with trying to follow it, and I want to go episode by episode. I don't want to skip episodes, so I stopped watching it. I got kind of overwhelmed, and life happened, and I just didn't have the time to watch it, frankly. So I just stopped watching all the shows altogether. But I'm very interested in catching up just to see that, and I think it's a long time coming. Brendan Routh is he's a special talent, and he was always great as Superman. He just was in a situation where he never was going to play Superman again, but that's not his fault. He was great as Superman. So he was awesome. It's awesome seeing that. Next up was the trailer for the new HBO series of Watchmen, and apparently this is a sequel years after the events that took place in the original Watchmen story. It's interesting stuff. It features I don't know what it's really about. That's probably the biggest problem with the trailer. But it features an older version of Ozymandias, the smartest man on Earth. Kind of, there's no description of what his role is, but he's there. There was a hint at the end that Dr. Manhattan could be involved in the show. But the show mainly involves police brutality against a criminal organized group. And the police officers, they have to mask themselves in order to hide and not be attacked by these criminals. And basically it's like a hidden secret war between cops and criminals, which is interesting. I don't know where it's going to lead, but I'm intrigued. Stars Regina King, has Jeremy Irons as Ozymandias. It's interesting, very interesting. So I'd give that a watch. Some people don't like it. I trust HBO. HBO craps content, so or quality content, I should say. So I have a lot of faith in it. And this is probably the second biggest thing to come out of Marvel, out of Comic Con, I should say. The Phase 4 lineup for all the movies and TV shows coming from the MCU, or the MTVU as well. MTU as well. Oh. I'm sure you guys have heard the news at this point. Basically, they ran down at least the phase some of Phase 4 from Marvel for the movies and TV shows that are happening next year in 2020 and 2021. They only announced all those, which isn't a lot, really. Well, it is a lot. For them, it's a lot. But it's only a couple of years. That's what I mean. It's not really 4 years, but it's a lot of stuff for just a couple of years, which is, to me, it makes me nervous. Marvel seems to be adding more and more content, and it's getting more and more demanding for the people working at Marvel. You wonder when the quality is going to be affected. I just wonder, because they really have a lot of stuff to deal with now, particularly Kevin Feige. And I love Kevin Feige, but man, he's being given a shitload of things to do. I don't know. I feel like they're asking for it a little bit here, but it just makes me nervous. That's all. I have all the faith in the world in Kevin Feige. He's done everything right, almost just about so far. So I have faith in him, but I just get worried. You gotta wonder what the deal is with that. In the new phase, in Phase 4 of Marvel, they released about 4 movies that are going to be on the cinematic universe for Marvel, and a number of TV shows that will all premiere on the new Disney Plus streaming service that's coming out next year. So man, they are very much encouraging us to get Disney Plus, especially considering that a lot of the items with Disney Plus are going to be connected to the MCU. It's the same universe. It's the same cinematic universe, essentially, except it's going out of the cinema. It's now going into streaming services and stuff like that, which is very cool. It's very new. It's a new way of doing things in the MCU, and it's exciting in a way, even though I don't care that much about it. But here are the movies coming out and TV shows. First up, in May of next year, we will have Black Widow. That will be the opening Black Widow, and I believe that's a prequel. It's a prequel for, of course. It's interesting. It's interesting. I wasn't clamoring for a Black Widow movie, but it's nice that after so many years, Scarlett Johansson is finally getting a movie of her own. It feels right. It feels good. I want to see it. I want to see her wreck some shop in the Marvel movie as my phone drops. But I want to see her wreck some shop. So I'm very interested to see how it works out for her. The movie also has Rachel Weisz from the Mummy fame in it, which I noticed. It has the villain, the Taskmaster, in it. In fact, some concept art just came out for Black Widow with the Taskmaster, so I'm going to check that out when this is over. Next up is the Eternals, which they revealed their cast in the Comic-Con panel. It features stars like Kumail Nanjiani, Selma Hayek, and Angelina Jolie in the Eternals. They are getting everyone in Hollywood for the MCU. I mean, what a pickup for the MCU to get Angelina Jolie and Selma Hayek. Two amazing actresses. Here she is, and it looked like just like every other actor and actress that came before her, looked like she was having the time of her life being a part of the MCU. That's kind of what the MCU is all about. Even made Angelina Jolie just happy as hell. Next up is another one is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let's see. I'm trying to get the release date for these movies. There we go. Yep, fall of 2020, Falcon and Winter Soldier. That movie, or TV show, I should say, we've been speculating for a while. So, all the TV shows Kevin Feige is going to produce. So, Kevin Feige is going to be busy as fuck in the next couple of years. Like, I don't know, man. I wonder what his overall structure with producing and all that is like. I hope he has a lot of help because this is a giant order to deal with, a giant order of shows and movies to deal with that where people expect greatness. Yep, the new Falcon and Winter Soldier will have Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Daniel Bruhl returning as Baron Zemo. So it should be cool stuff here. Shang-Chi is coming next year or in 2021. I'm not sure yet, but Shang-Chi is coming. A new Asian hero for the Marvel Cinematic Universe has finally arrived. Trying to get the name of this guy. Features Tommy Leung, I should say. I think that's his name as the legit Mandarin coming into the MCU. A woman named Aquafina. She's becoming more famous. She's going to be the lead actress in the movie. Okay, Shang-Chi's name is Simu Liu. So that's going to be a blockbuster star in the making in the very near future, particularly for Asian audiences. So I'm very much looking to Shang-Chi. This should be very cool. Finally, the Mandarin is the MCU have answered in spring. By the way, February 12th of 2021. WandaVision TV series, obviously featuring Vision and Wanda. But Vision's dead. Vision's been dead, so I don't know what's going to happen there. That's another weird situation. Is it just going to feature Wanda? No, Paul Bettany's in it too. I don't get it. I don't get what's going on here. So that's a weird one. A Loki TV series also happening spring of 2021 with Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston, of course, survives due to Avengers Endgame stuff, and he's going to have his own TV show. Why not? He's been around the MCU for, 10 years now? No, almost 10 years. Doctor Strange. His movie, Doctor Strange's next movie was announced. It's going to be in the starting movie for summer of 2021. Wow. That's a hell of a position for Doctor Strange. It's going to have Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch in there. Scott Derrickson will return as the director. I did not know that. That is very cool stuff. Wow, Doctor Strange and the Scarlet Witch in the same movie. Now that is fucking awesome. Multiverse of Madness. That's good. You know, a lot of fans don't want to touch the idea of a multiverse for this MCU. I don't blame them, but I'm at least intrigued. I kind of am spoiled and I want to see it. I know there will be giant consequences for getting that in this movie later on in the future, but we're going to get those consequences anyway. That's the way I see it. Someone's going to spoil that, and we're going to have to deal with it at some point. So might as well get it now. This one's interesting. This is also on Disney Plus. This will be streaming exclusively on there summer of 2021. What if? And here's the description. A huge number of MCU actors will reprise their roles in this animated series, and the Watcher has finally been cast. We'll have to wait and see whether he makes the leap from What If to a live-action setting, though. Check back here later for a full list of actors set to lend their voices to the show. Essentially, What If is going to be a TV show revolving around the what-ifs of what's happened in storylines of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, what if it's like an alternate world theory discussion of different things that could have happened in the plots of stories that have already been told in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, what if Iron Man never did the snap in a movie, in Endgame? Everyone's seen Endgame. I'm gonna, Endgame spoilers have been all over this thing. But what if Thanos never did the snap? What if Thor? What if Thor loved Loki more? I don't know, but they're gonna have some alternate stories to see what would happen, and I think it's gonna be animated to kind of. So it's interesting, very interesting stuff. More will be talked about later on about that, but that's a separate thing from the cinematic universe storyline. That's just kind of a fun thing. I'm sure it's going to feature all actors in the MCU. All they have to do is voiceover, so it's pretty cool stuff. Next up is one I'm kind of surprised about. It's going to be a TV series on Disney Plus. It's going to be Hawkeye. Hawkeye is going to have his own TV series. I did not see this coming. Does Hawkeye really need a TV series? Like, I know that he is a main Avenger. He's one of the last ones left, but so, like, he can be I don't know. I think that's weird. Apparently, he's never going to leave. He's never going to stay retired as Hawkeye. So it's going to be interesting. This could be the Winter Soldier of the future of the Marvel Universe. Hawkeye could very well be that, but also so could Scarlet Witch. That will be very interesting to see. But I'm gonna have my eye on Hawkeye. This will be interesting. Hawkeye will also introduce his daughter is going to be playing a bigger role, so that will be interesting going forward. Thor: Love and Thunder. This was the big news. One of the biggest, maybe the second biggest news. Thor: Love and Thunder will feature an openly gay Valkyrie and a big screen debut of the female Thor, played by Natalie Portman. That was giant news. Giant news. Natalie Portman is going to play the female Thor. The cast hasn't seen the script yet, but Portman came out on stage holding Mjolnir, so it's pretty obvious where things are going. Don't fret, though, as Chris Hemsworth will still factor into proceedings. Man. And Taika Waititi is returning as the director. That's another giant news story. In theaters, November 5th, 2021. I love Thor and Ragnarok, Taika Waititi's movie with that. I'm looking forward to this. I actually like the title. People don't like the title. I actually think it's cool, and I really like the design of the title, too. It sounds like the Grand Master is going to be in the movie, too. That's another note, because Jeff Goldblum teased it online. So it looks like he might be in the movie too. Um, I'm down. Female Thor, sign me up. Let's do it. Uh, it is weird that they got Natalie Portman, who's 5'3", to play Thor, but we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting to see her in a Thor outfit, but we'll see how it goes. We have a couple of years to think about it. So yeah, those were all the announcements of the lineup. Also, there were some other Marvel stuff going on. Some confirmations from Marvel. They confirmed that they're working on Fantastic Four. We already knew that, but that's a few years away. But the Fantastic Four is coming. X-Men is coming. That's also going to be in a few years, obviously. That's going to be a lot to deal with. The biggest news, maybe in all of Comic-Con, though, was Mahershala Ali, Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali. He is going to play the new Blade. Mahershala Ali is going to play the new Blade. Very cool stuff. Very deserving guy to play a guy like Blade. Apparently, after he won his Academy Award, he went to see Kevin Feige and he told him specifically that he wanted to play Blade. That is fucking cool. I'm down to see it. I think Mahershala Ali obviously is an amazing actor, and let's do it, man. I want to see vampires in the MCU. Marvel's going everywhere, aren't they, with their creative stuff? They're going the cosmic route. They're going in the magical route with Doctor Strange. They're going in the TV route. They're going the prequel route. They're going the vampire route. They're going everywhere. They're going bonkers. They're trying to be different from what we've seen in Avengers. Obviously, we can't forget about Spider-Man either. Marvel is going insane. Marvel is going insane. With this Blade news, though, Mahershala Ali is going to be a huge star. Is going to be a huge factor in Blade. He's already 45, which people are worried about, but I'm sure they could work around that. I mean, we have some amazing technology and stuff, and there's extremely smart people that work over in the MCU. They'll find a way to get around that. So I'm not too worried about that. Wesley Snipes was very classy about him not getting the next Blade role and Mahershala getting it instead. He praised Mahershala Ali, and he said he can't wait to see what he brings to the table for the Blade character. You gotta love Wesley Snipes, and why not have him as a cameo or as a smaller role in the MCU? I think why not? That's a win. That's fan service right there. That's good fan service, I feel like. So Blade is back. He wasn't on the Netflix shows, but this might be better. This might be better than the idea of him being on the Netflix shows with Daredevil and Punisher and Jessica Jones. Even though he would have been a great fit, but those TV shows are over. I like what's happening now. That's just me. But understandably, with those countless news stories from the Marvel panel, they kind of dominated Comic-Con with what happened. But to me, the biggest story to come out of Comic-Con was not anything in the MCU. It actually was a little trailer in Paramount that was presented by a little actor named Tom Cruise. And I believe that would have to be Top Gun Maverick. The first trailer came out for the Top Gun sequel, Top Gun Maverick. It was awesome. I've seen that trailer at least 20 times now. And I'm not even a Top Gun fan. And it's something I want to see. The trailer, it brought awesomeness to me. It brought some awesome vibes. I want to see Tom Cruise legit on a plane. You saw it in the trailer. He was legit flying the planes in this Top Gun sequel. You've got to see the trailer for Top Gun. I thought it was amazing myself. So if you haven't done yourself that favor yet, go see Top Gun. To me, I think it's the biggest news to come out of Comic-Con. I'm stunned more people are talking about it, even though seemingly it's the buzz for it is gigantic now. It's huge for it. Everybody was talking about it in Comic-Con. I think it arguably stole the thunder from Marvel a little bit. Marvel, I gotta be honest, we talked a lot about Marvel. I kind of forgot I had to talk about Marvel. I was like, oh, fuck. They have like 100 news stories. But I think I'm spoiled with Marvel. Like, I've heard a lot. I've seen a lot of Marvel over the years. It wasn't the biggest thing for me to come out of Comic-Con. To me, the biggest thing to come out of Comic-Con was Tom Cruise showing Top Gun. That was the biggest thing. That was the cherry on top for Comic-Con this year. And I am excited to see it. I really want to see it. I'm not a hardcore Top Gun fan at all. I've only seen it maybe twice in my lifetime. I've seen it once for sure, but maybe twice. Hopefully it will be as good as I think it is now. It's going to be now, since I've seen the trailer so many times. It's fucking awesome. Tom Cruise is legit flying a plane upside down. He's flying it upside down. So I'm very interested to see it. The passion always comes out whenever I hear that trailer. And whenever I hear that trailer, or see that trailer. But yeah, I thought it was great. I really did. Tom Cruise is a god. He is fucking awesome. So I don't know. I want to see it. I want to see it bad. And to me, that are all the news stories that came out of Comic-Con. All the news stories that came out of Comic-Con this year. That's a shit ton of news stories come out of there. So I am very intrigued. I am excited with the movie universe, the universe of pop culture, with all the things I heard. What did you guys think about what happened in Comic-Con? Feel free to comment down below on the video for suggestions and what you thought about the show and all the news stories. I want to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys. Thank you for staying with me for so long on this video. I very much appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe, and feel free to again look at my blog, the Ben Burnside blog. Caption, talk about whatever I want. You'll love the readings there. Also listen to the Ben Burnside show on Podbean, a few episodes I did there before transitioning on here to YouTube. But anyway, thank you guys for bearing with me for so long. This was a long show. I did not expect it at all to be this long whatsoever, but I'm glad I had it be this long. It's awesome. So feel free to comment again on it and just give your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks, guys. I am going to bed. I'm going to try to settle down before going to bed. So have a good night, guys. Till next time, have a good one. Turn this off.